Been in the fight to find a cure for CF for 25 years. He's a graduate of Steubenville High School. That is Dean Martin's high school, right? Am I right? Really? Yeah. Did you meet the family at all? Anything? No? Okay. He served in the U.S. Air Force from 1962 to 1968. Thank you for your service, Mr. Barcus. He married Sherry Forney in 1966 and celebrated 54 years of marriage last June. They have 4 grown children. Bob is now retired from the Columbus Fire Department with 30 years of service. That is a man right there. That is a man, right? And he received, during that 30 years of service, he received the nickname the Silver Fox. Mr. Barcus, that is sexy. I'll be honest, that is sexy. Coming up with him is his grandson. Travis was born and raised in Johnstown, Ohio. Johnny's. He's been battling CF for 25 years. He's a 2017 graduate of The Ohio State University, majoring in art and technology. Travis recently relocated to Orlando, Florida, and is currently trying to warm up somewhere because this was a shock to his system coming back to this. And what's the temperature right now down there? It was 85 when he left. Welcome back to Ohio. He is currently the manager of media production at Food First Global Restaurants. He also serves at Action Church with their video production team. In late 2019, he was approved to begin Trifecta, and I'm sure he's going to talk about it. I don't want to get into it because I know you're going to talk about it. So please, help me welcome to the stage the Silver Fox and his grandson, Travis.
I forget where it was now. I stood and I listened to Dave and I thought, that's a tough act to follow. I don't know if I'd ever be here if I had to follow him. After he introduced me, I thought he was a pretty nice guy. Turned out extremely well. But I'd like to thank our families from Barcus and Hammock family. Thank Amy and her staff for inviting us down to share our story with you. She had originally a 4-hour presentation. We've cut it down a little bit smaller than that. So we'll get through with this. And if you notice, you'll see some slides coming up. And if you notice, Travis is a technical person with art and design. He designed and put out the whole program. And he calls it a PowerPoint. Some of you older folks like me would call it a big slideshow. So we're going to use that. We'll refer to these slides as we go through this because it's kind of hard to take 25 years and bring it down to just about maybe 10 minutes or so. So each slide, the first one you see there, that's the one with me and Travis when he was small. Now, when we first found out he had CF, we were really concerned because we didn't know much about it. We didn't know how to deal with it. We didn't have much information on it. But when you take him and you look at him and you see that beautiful smile, he was always smiling, like he didn't have a care in the world. He was just one brave person. And you just couldn't help but love him. And when I was around him, I'd pick him up and be scared I'd drop him. He'd break. I wasn't sure how to handle it. But that was our first start. That's how we did it over the years. The next slide shows a lady that is probably the one that's most influential in his life outside of Mom. This is Grandma Barcus. This is Nana to all the grandkids. A lot of them are here today. But she was instrumental in being able to fill in on treatments, on programs with the kids, while Mom and Dad worked to keep insurance, because we found out that CF is a very expensive disease to have, and it costs a lot of money for the drugs and the treatments. But she was able to take that time, drop back to her job for half-time, and be able to go to Johnstown almost on a weekly basis, 3 or 4 days, to take care of Travis so she could take care of him. Let's go to the next one, T. Now, this is the start of cystic fibrosis. You may not be familiar with this, but this is how they delivered the PDs. This was the treatment. And if you notice in that first picture, he's almost standing on his head. That's when they pound on the chest and everything to loosen up the mucus in the lungs so he can spit it out and get his breath. The second one actually shows him upside down, facing down again, working on his back to get the fluid going. The last one, he looks like a little spaceman there with that, but that was one of the early vest treatments that come out. Now those two items in the first two are not used anymore. CF has advanced to the stage where now they have vests, specialized vests, and Travis has had several of them over the years, but it's certainly an improvement to what we started with, and that's how it started. T, next one. It looks like a lot of relatives, but that's not really the case. I think they know who they are, you don't. This was a CF team of doctors at Children's and the people that took care of him. And he would go to clinic whenever he did, and they would take care of him. And sort of fell in love with him, with a little red-headed kid. He took care of him. But there was a lot of things there that it's through their efforts that he's grown up to be like he is today. A little bit healthier, a little bit stronger. But it's that basic support that he got at Children's with those people there that we got to give a lot of credit to. So if you have any... We're really the warriors against the fight against CF, and they're the ones that control everything. And there's been times when it's been pretty serious for Trav to have to go to Children's to be admitted and deal with this over the years. But he's weathered it well, and he's still got that great smile. Okay, T, one more. We have a program, we have a team. I'm sure the Great Strides Walk is coming up. This is an event that happens every year. It's about a 3-mile walk to raise money for CF. I'm sure you're familiar with it. But this is a picture out of the Johnstown Gazette up in Johnstown. Michelle, mom, was asked to organize a walk up there for CF. That is a picture of the whole school he went to at Northridge School that got out, raised money for our walk that year, and the whole thing went for Travis. So that he's in that picture right in the middle on the first row. I'm sure you can see him. But he's really there, take my word for it. So that was what they called Hike with a Bike. And that's because Northridge were considered the Vikings, so that's how that walk got its name. Now we've got 3 here, so 4. Okay, the other thing we have our team is called the Traveling Tees. Imagine that, Tees. And my deal with them, I didn't take care of him too much. Grandma took care of all that. One of the final things I did about after 2 or 3 years, I said, I'm going to raise money, but I don't want to ask people for money, so how can I do it? So in my infinite wisdom, I come up with the idea of having a letter writing campaign. And you see those letters there, they're pretty crude because we didn't have a computer, didn't have a typewriter, so we wrote them longhand. And we addressed the envelopes longhand. And we sent out 100 things the first year. And each year we got a little bit better. And we got too wordy on it. After a period of time, words were there. But if you look around there, you see pictures of the last walk we had last year. And I put a lot of pictures in there, wrote a lot of information. And that's the way we raise our money. And still up to this day, we still claim about 70% of that income over the last 20 years that we have raised for CF. And one thing too, that people don't even know Travis that have donated, but they give their money, they give their support just because they know us, being parents, being grandparents. So it was something that I said I wanted to do, I want to give it a try. My wife helps me out on it, we do it. Now the next slide I'm going to show you is sort of, we graduated a little bit. We got back in with a computer, printed it up. But one thing we did, we put a picture of Travis in there each and every year. And we sort of just took it down to 2 paragraphs. One paragraph dealt with the year Travis had along the lines, whatever happened to him. The other paragraph was how CF was progressing during the years. And after the 25 years that we've had to deal with CF, we've come a long way. And I'm sure that Travis is going to fill you in as he steps up here, and he'll tell you just exactly what's happened to him in those 25 years.
So thank you, Papa, for being able to explain the first half of my life, because I didn't know how to eat or do really much other than talk. So I had no idea what treatments were. I had no idea what cystic fibrosis was. CF, I didn't even know how to say it. People were mostly like cystic, yeah, that, CF. So thank you for being able to explain that and kind of tell me what it was like before that. You know, I was just living, I was just going day by day. I didn't realize that going to the doctor every couple weeks, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks was something that was abnormal. I knew it was different, but I had no idea that it was something that was that different. One question that I do have to ask is, you know, how many of you had a dream growing up? You know, middle school, high school. Hey, I know exactly what I want to go to college for. I know exactly what I want to do in my future. I know this is my perfect wedding. This is my wife. This is my husband. This is the life I want to have. I thought I knew all of that. And one day at lunch, someone just happened to say, "Oh, you have CF? You're only going to live till you're 30 if you're lucky." And I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
I mean, I had no idea. This was something that was new to me. This was something that became a reality when in 2011 I got very sick. I was a very active kid, minus being in the doctor's office and missing practices here and there, being sick. I really wanted to stay active. I wanted to be a part of what everyone was doing. And I was sitting in a hospital bed in the worst case that I had ever been in. My parents went out of the room and they showed me this slide, and they pretty much said, "We have to take a step. We have to make a difference, because you can't play soccer anymore. You can't climb a flight of stairs without catching your breath." And then, you know, those things that I thought I wanted to do, I wanted to go to college, I wanted to have a future. I didn't know if I could do that anymore. And, you know, through faith and family and friends, that was all that kept me going. It was the smile on my face. It was the positivity. It was the people encouraging me to take the next step, the next breath. The stuff that wasn't promised. There was no medicine. There was nothing that could save me from another day. It was just me taking the steps to get off that hospital bed and get out of that hospital for the next step. So, again, my support system is what got me through. It's the family. It's the friends. It's the people in this room, the people that I don't even know your names, but you're the reason I'm here today. If I wouldn't have the support and the medical advancements that we have, I wouldn't be standing here. I might even be hooked to a machine in order to be able to breathe. And the advancements that we've gotten just in my lifetime that wasn't even known when I was a kid. My parents were just going day by day, just like, okay, what's gonna happen next? And that's gotten me to where I am today. And it's more than just a financial support, it's an emotional support. It's a huge emotional tool, and it's something that not only can I afford it, but can not only my emotional state, but my family's emotional state get to the next step, the next day, the next year. And before I know it, I'm graduating high school. So, you know, getting through high school, you know, was a huge success. Senior year, I laced up for soccer. I stayed in it every year after that. I was fixing the nets, I was keeping scores, I was doing whatever I could on the sideline. In senior year, I was like, I'm going in. I don't care, I'm going in. And I played the entire game. I didn't care. I played the entire game, no matter how difficult it was to breathe, no matter how much it hurt, because I knew that I'm pushing through this. I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue to fight, because where I was years ago, it's still steps ahead, and I'm going to continue to fight along with my family for what's next. I'm not giving up easy. And before I knew it, I was in Ohio State.
I am.
So, yeah, it's something that I had no idea. It was really a last minute decision. I decided the last day I could, I was going to Ohio State. It was the last day of orientation. So I jumped in. I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know what the next 4 years hold, but I'm going to live as normal as I can.
Hell yeah.
So I went through school. senior year was a huge awakening call for me. I was able to run. I didn't care how many flights of steps I went up. I'm going to keep breathing, and I'm going to act like I can still breathe right now. So I moved through school. I ran every single day. I didn't care if it was 10 minutes and I was gasping for breath across the street, and I was like, don't call the police, I'm fine. I don't need an ambulance, I'm good. Sophomore year of college, I went to Disney. I got a job at Disney for an internship, so I went to Orlando, and I was there for 6 months. I was there for 6 months and did not have to see a doctor. How crazy is that? So, of course, my doctors, I'm sure were freaking out just as much as me going there, not really knowing what I was going to do for 6 months, because I'm going to the doctor every 5-6 weeks at this point, and that was normal for me up to this point. So 6 months, I had connections down in Orlando in case I needed to, but I didn't really know the doctors. I was really hoping I didn't have to go through it, and I stayed through the 6 months. I came back for the Great Strides Rock as much as I could. I continued to fight when we can every single year, and continued to stay healthy every single year. I started Orkambi, and even though that was a step in the right direction, I did have a lot of other medical concerns that came with Orkambi from side effects. So I was basically stuck with the decision of, do I have pain and agony of having Orkambi every day, having kidney stones? Every time kidney stone would form, I would get another one. So do I have kidney stones every day, or would I rather breathe? So I tried off of Orkambi, and I was like, give me the kidney stones. I would much rather go back to kidney stones than try and go to the gym and try to breathe without Orkambi. It wasn't possible. I knew that my lungs were too damaged at that point. I would rather deal with the pain that Orkambi brought with the kidney stones. Thankfully, Symdeco came out. So after that, I went back on Orkambi, but then I started Symdeco. The kidney stones went away, so that was wonderful, and I continued back on life. So I graduated Ohio State, and from here I was able to actually plan what is next. Something that I wasn't able to do for a long time, and Orkambi, Symdeco, the medical advancements told me that I'm not in a hospital bed. I'm not needing to go to the doctor every 5 weeks, maybe more like 2 months every now. So what's next? Let's start a career. So I started a career. I got a job here in Grandview, and about 6 months later after I started this job, they announced, congratulations, we love you, you're great, we're moving the company. Yeah, so we got bought out by a new company, and the new company relocated to, of all places, Orlando, Florida. So I was like, okay, this is great. I just bought a house in Ohio like 2 months ago, and I have to relocate to Orlando if I want to keep my job. And I knew a huge part of that was leaving the family that I knew, and I know it's weird to call doctors family, but the family that I had at Nationwide Children's Hospital, and I had no idea how much I really appreciated them until I got to Orlando. And these are the people that I knew I could call at any time if I had any concerns, even if it was CF related or just personal related. I could talk to them. It was weird. I had that doctor-patient relationship. Most people are scared to go to the doctor. I appreciated the relationship I had, and I took that for granted. In Orlando, I appreciate the doctors, but it is really a doctor-patient relationship. It feels like I'm going to the doctor, and it feels like it's a battle. Like, no, I know my body, I know what I've gone through. This is what I think is right. And the team here in Columbus were more than happy to work with me, and they knew what was appropriate for me, but then they're like, hey, if you feel that way, we're more than happy to work with you and make that be the case. And so I ultimately made the decision to move to Orlando, and that came with a few other advancements that have come since I've been in Orlando. So I've been in Orlando a year. One of the first things I got when I got there was I was approved to start the vest where I don't have to be connected to tubes. So if you don't know anything about the vest, I have to be connected to tubes for the most part, which is a couple foot long, so I'm pretty much sitting right next to the machine. This is me like 2 days ago, by the way. I'm outside in shorts, in case you don't know. So I was doing my best outside playing ball with my dog. And this, again, is thanks to the people in this room. You guys are giving to people like myself, and I'm speaking for all CFers at this point. We thank you. I mean, we could not live another day. We couldn't breathe another day. We couldn't live a normal life without the donations and the support and the medical advancement from you. And, you know, this isn't a cure, and this isn't necessarily picture perfect for me, but if I wanted to go on a run in the morning and do my treatment at the same time, I can do that now. It's not a 2-hour process every morning, it's maybe an hour process in the morning and an hour process at night instead of the 2 hours in the morning and at night. On top of that, I started Trikafta Tuesday. So I wish I had more to go off of for you. All I can say is Trikafta Tuesday. I went to work and I could not stop coughing. Everyone was like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "You have no idea." I just said, "Yeah, stay away, please. Like, don't talk to me. You know, I probably need a day to myself. You know, just stay over there." And I just, you know, I knew in myself, I could not stop smiling, and everyone's watching me cough, and I'm like, they have no idea, they think I'm weird, I'm smiling, and I'm really excited, and I'm coughing out a lung. But this is all thanks to the advancements, and, you know, I couldn't thank you enough, and I know I've said it a million times, and I can say it a million more. The people in this room, like you, and you, and you, and you are the people that make this possible. This is an invisible illness. I'm walking through the airport, I'm walking through work. People don't know what I'm going through every day, but the hours I spend battling this disease and fighting this disease, they have no idea that I'm going off of the emotional support of, okay, I have 5 years to live. That's what I was told growing up. I'm only until 30. I have 5 years left if I'm going off of that. I'm not staying with that thought. I know that because of these advancements, because of the support of the people in this room, because of the support of the people I don't know your name, because of the support of the family and friends that I have fighting this, I'm not going to live till 30. I don't know when I'm going to live till, but I'm going to stay long past. I'm going to make this all. Even though Trikafta isn't a cure, it's a hope. It's officially a reason to plan. Before Trikafta, I really wasn't thinking much more of that. Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know if you want to know that answer based on my history, but now I can tell you an answer to that. And I am more than happy to tell everyone how positive I am in continuing to fight this fight. And that is exactly why we started the Traveling Tees. The Traveling Tees is the team that we fight every single year. Traveling Tees, Traveling Travis, you know, we came up with the team. Fun name, you know. And I used to have a red afro, so that's why we started this afro thing. So if you see the afros at any event, that's exactly why. But we will continue to fight every single day until CF stands for a cure. There are people being born every year. There are people fighting this. There are people dying every year. And as long as I'm breathing, I won't stop. And I pray and I appreciate the support that you continue to support for us. You know, that we're trying our best to live a normal life. And what you just voted on, what you supported with in the silent auctions, that's paying for my next breath, that's paying for the CFers' next breath that's sitting in Nationwide Children's Hospital waiting for a lung transplant, that's paying for everyone's life that they don't even know what's next. They might be sitting there looking at that x-ray, wondering, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it out of here. And I thank you so much. I thank you for the family that is here that surprised me tonight. I thought it was gonna be 3 and it ended up being 2 tables. I thank you for the friends, and I thank you for my partner in crime, Paul, for being here with me tonight.